You probably check your bank account balance pretty regularly, right? Well, welcome to this explainer, because today we are auditing a completely different type of wealth. We are breaking down a really powerful perspective from speaker Qasim Ali Shah on what we actually control, what we don't, and how we are quietly being robbed of our true potential every single day. Here is the roadmap we'll be following. We'll define the ultimate currencies, look at the sneaky traps of ego and dopamine, break down reaction versus response, figure out how to let go of what is completely out of our control, and finally, master what we can actually control. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The ultimate currencies. Okay, we literally need to crack open a brand new dictionary here to redefine what true wealth actually looks like. So the core idea here is that time and attention, not just the cash in your wallet, are your primary bank accounts. The speaker really hammers home that we need to treat every tick of the clock and every single ounce of our focus like literal cash. Because when you sit down to gossip or, endlessly doom scroll or stress about things completely out of your hands, you aren't just passing time. You're actively spending a fortune that you can never, ever earn back. The stakes here? Absolutely massive. Think about it. You can lose an absolute fortune in the stock market or have a business venture completely tank, but with enough grit and effort, you can rebuild it. Money is entirely renewable, but a wasted afternoon of your attention, that is just gone forever. Poof. This is the big foundational mindset shift required to understand the rest of this framework. If you genuinely believed your focus was non-renewable, you would guard it fiercely, wouldn't you? Moving right along to Section 2, traps, ego, and dopamine. Let's look at how our own biology and psychology are actively trying to bankrupt us. So the ego, it's a total master illusionist. To survive socially, we slap on this mask that hides our personal flaws, even from our own conscious mind. And when things go sideways, the ego's first line of defense is to point fingers. We blame the weather, the economy, society, basically anyone else. Refusing to admit fault, or simply saying I am sorry, literally traps us in this exhausted, defensive posturing. It's a huge drain on our precious energy. Imagine this. You wake up every single morning and you have exactly 100 units of energy, time, and attention deposited into your account. That is your daily budget. Now think about how lightning fast you burn through those 100 units before you even step foot in the office. You read a distressing news headline about something entirely out of your control, boom, 10 units gone. You get into a petty argument with a stranger on social media, boom, another 15 units. By noon, you might only have like 20 units left for your actual goals, your family, or your personal growth. It's wild. It's actually kind of alarming how easily we blow those 100 units on cheap dopamine thrills, instead of actually investing them in our intellect. I mean, our brains are literally hardwired to love easy dopamine, celebrity gossip, memes, internet drama, all of which drain our currency without requiring any real mental heavy lifting. On the flip side, deep learning, building emotional intelligence, and complex problem solving, they don't give you that instant gratification. But these intellect-driven habits are the actual investments that multiply your currency over time. Which brings us to Section 3, reaction versus response. This is the absolutely critical pivot point between just acting blindly and actually responding consciously. So what actually happens when we delay gratification? Well, we look back at the famous marshmallow experiment. You've probably heard of this one. Kids who waited for a second candy grew up to be far more successful than the ones who just scarfed it down immediately. In psychology, delaying gratification is the ultimate indicator of future success. The kids who immediately ate that single marshmallow couldn't pause. They couldn't override that initial impulse. And honestly, that exact lack of pause is what ruins a lot of adults too. Those who gave in to the instant gratification, they were simply reacting, while the successful ones used their emotional intelligence to consciously respond. A reaction is an unconscious trigger, right? Someone insults you, your reptilian brain lashes out, and you are on pure autopilot. A response, though, introduces a crucial pause. You still feel the anger, sure, but you consciously evaluate your options. You delay the gratification of screaming back, and instead you choose a path that actually serves your long-term goals. This idea perfectly captures why building your emotional quotient, your EQ, is actually vastly more important than your IQ for long-term success. I mean, brilliant people with sky-high IQs sabotage their lives and careers every single day simply because they lack EQ. They react emotionally instead of responding rationally. Mastering your emotions essentially means mastering exactly where your attention goes. All right, Section 4. Out of your control. Now that we know how we waste our currency reacting to things, let's look at the specific, heavy burdens you need to completely drop from your life. If you spend your time and attention worrying about these external factors, you are literally tossing your currency into a black hole. You absolutely cannot control what other people think of you. You can't control the weather, global politics, the unavoidable process of getting older, or, rewrite the past. Investing your 100 daily units into these things yields an absolute zero return on investment. Actually, worse than zero, it just generates anxiety. Think about it like this. The windshield is huge, but the rearview mirror is incredibly small. It's a great metaphor reminding us that, yeah, we should definitely glance at the past to learn from our mistakes, but our primary focus has to remain on the vast road right in front of us. If you try driving a car while staring entirely into that tiny rearview mirror, you are going to crash. It's guaranteed. The past is dead, learn the lesson, extract the wisdom, and then immediately pull your valuable attention back to that large windshield, your present, and your future. Let's bring it home with Section 5, Master What You Can. We are transitioning to the ultimate investment strategy, the exact things you should be spending your energy on. This right here is exactly where your focus belongs. You control your boundaries, like setting a rock-solid line between work time and chill time. You control your circle, meaning you can say no to toxic people. You control your attitude, how you treat others, and maybe most importantly, you control your internal self-talk. If your internal dialogue is relentlessly negative, your reality is going to reflect that for sure. Actively choosing productive, positive self-talk is honestly the highest return on investment you can possibly make. True mastery means you need to invest your currency across 4 very distinct internal energies. It isn't just about reading books to gain mental energy. You have to prioritize sleep and manage your health to protect your physical energy. You've got to channel your emotional energy far away from petty arguments and direct it toward constructive empathy. And you absolutely have to nurture your spiritual energy through deep trust and soul-level connections. If any single one of these is neglected, the whole system starts to break down. And scientifically speaking, investing in these energies literally shifts your brain chemistry. We spend so much time desperately chasing quick dopamine hits from our phones, but true, deeply rooted well-being, that comes from oxytocin, which is generated by building deep, trustworthy human connections. It comes from serotonin, a direct byproduct of discipline and a healthy lifestyle. And it comes from endorphins, which you only really earn by taking healthy risks and pushing yourself through discomfort. We so often tell ourselves, oh, I'll start making these changes when the time is right. But as the source material really emphasizes, today is literally the only time you have. There is no magical perfect moment in the future where you are suddenly going to have endless energy and zero distractions. If you genuinely want to reclaim your attention and upgrade your life, you'll find a way through the obstacles today. If you don't, well, your ego will happily supply you with 1,000 weather-related, society-blaming excuses. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to seriously ask yourself, what is the very first boundary you are going to draw today to protect your ultimate currency? Are you going to stop engaging in pointless arguments? Are you finally going to put down the phone and invest in your mental or physical energy? The wealth is sitting right there in your hands, right now, ticking away. So how are you going to spend it? Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and hey, start spending your attention like the precious asset it truly is.